some sort of census that allows us to go into an area and identify just how many disabled people are there in this region.
Pet International, which has Colombia roots, is helping organize a new international group to try and fight the world's mobility problem.
KOMU was there for its first meeting in Guatemala. The group hopes to come up with a model the rest of the world can use to help people who can't walk, but it needs your help. In tonight's Sarah's story, KOMU 8's Sarah Hill tells us topping its to-do list is a culture that crawls.
You see, it's difficult to get any kind of grants, donation, or awareness for a cause without an accurate number that defines the scope of the problem. But the problem with tallying the number of immobile people is that they're so hidden away in their homes, it's difficult to even count them. A new international group called the Central America Mobility Partnership says it's up to the challenge and is hoping someone watching this story can help them count the culture that crawls.
And so if you have a child who's 8 years old, it's very hard to carry that child on your back.
It's very heartbreaking. It's terrible to see stuff like this happening and you're not able to help.
The need is for a change of priorities.
Oscar Castillo's 5-year wait for his hand-cranked cart illustrates why not having mobility can kill you. 8 years ago, Castillo climbed a coconut tree in search of something to eat, but fell 72 feet to the ground. The impact paralyzed him from the waist down. Unable to work, Castillo moved to this homeless camp. Here, people bathe in the same water they wash dishes. Castillo says he spent 5 years here, confined to his bed because he couldn't afford a wheelchair. Bed sores started rotting his flesh. Then infection threatened his life.
I think he already died, says, because in bed he have injuries and everything in his back. Because in bed he feels so sad, says, because he wants to go outside of the street and everything, but it's impossible for him.
Even if Castillo could have afforded an $850 wheelchair, it would have been useless in his village. In poor countries like Guatemala, sidewalks are scarce. Even our interpreter, who uses a wheelchair, couldn't navigate the rugged terrain.
Okay. Well, we need all of your help.
This is the first meeting of the Central America Mobility Partnership.
We hope to leave with some ideas.
Organizations from Guatemala, Belize, Peru, and Honduras came together to try to find and count the hidden culture that crawls so it can help them.
In the mentality of the people in Peru, I understand it's the same here in Guatemala. It's a curse or it's a punishment of God to have a disability. So you see them hidden in their beds, doing nothing, losing their life.
I've had lots of the moms tell me that their mother-in-law tells them, just kill it, it's just gonna ruin your life, using words worse than that. Telling her to kill the baby once it's born, or telling her to let the baby starve to death, so that they don't have this shame and this curse on the family.
There's a never-ending number of people that respond to the distributions of wheelchairs and pets, but we know that this is just a fraction.
Arms of Mercy says if Honduras were to import 200 pets each month, it would take 125 years to get enough for everyone who needs them. That's the scope of the worldwide mobility problem in just one country in Central America. In the developed world, we have electric wheelchairs for people who can't walk on their own, or even robotic legs.
The bionic legs were developed with $7.2 million from investors and government grants.
In Central America, they crawl.
We have the responsibility to do more. There's no one to really help them, so their only hope is to make it to the street, to solicit funds, to panhandle money, to beg.
Castillo begs. He's not able to climb trees anymore to get food. One of 24,000 pet recipients who is no longer staring at the ceiling. Guatemala is full of beautiful scenery, and now Oscar Castillo will once again get to see it.
He feels happy. Thank you very much for the pet, and God bless all.
Pet International is looking for new partners who might be able to do a census on the number of people with disabilities and the nature of those disabilities in Central America. If you know of someone who can help, you can go to our Culture That Crawls website and click on the Solutions tab. We have a link on KOMU.com/Sarah Stories. There you'll also find information on how to adopt a pet, which costs $250 to build and ship overseas. Pet, which started in a one-car garage in Colombia, is now in nearly 90 countries around the world.